Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Twist of Fate. Prachi agreed to get married to Siddharth to make Rambo happy after Rambo tells Prachi that he doesn't love her anymore. Meanwhile, Rambo only lied because he still loves Prachi. Let's continue. Grandma is in the room making call to her friend. Grandma explains to her friend that Prachi and Siddharth are about to get married. She says that they all have to attend the wedding and both she and her friend bet because they cannot agree that both Prachi and Rambo will not allow the wedding to happen. Grandma says to her friend on the phone that while being the grandma, she was not able to stop this wedding, so how will her friend do it? Her friend replies that she is her friend and she will do everything. Grandma sitting asks that what is her friend saying because she got married to the Chopra family. Grandma's friend replies that the time has gone when the women have to create scene as they have to face the problems. Grandma mentioned how did she stop trying. The friend explains that they both can stop this marriage, vowing how she will make sure that Rambo and Prachi are not separated from each other. Ria is taking out her clothes and Aliyah knocks on the door. Ria explains that Aliyah should not knock on the door as she is not Prachi. Aliyah replies that she is here because of Prachi. Aliyah takes out the clothes and Ria replies that she would never wear this kind of clothes since this is the choice of Prachi. Ria says that Aliyah knows her style, even then she is making her wear such clothes. Aliyah explains that Ria must not forget that she loves someone, so does Ria not want Rambo to love her? They all know that Rambo likes people who have the habit of Prachi, so Ria should pretend only till the time that Prachi is here, so when Prachi leaves, then Rambo doesn't have a side effect of her leaving. Ria agrees with Aliyah, explaining that she can adjust for the time being so that her husband will stay with her. Aliyah says that Ria understands everything so easily. Ria, standing in the mirror, says that she is going to replace Prachi very soon and Prachi will see it before leaving the house. Ria started smiling. Prachi is thinking of what Rambo told Siddharth and how Rambo said that he doesn't mind if Siddharth marry Prachi. Prachi gets emotional. Pallavi comes there and tells Prachi that this gift is for Prachi. Pallavi says Siddharth's parents died in the accident and if Siddharth's mother would have been alive, then she would have given Prachi this gift. Pallavi says to Prachi that you might feel bad about what I am going to say. She says I am a woman before being Vikram's wife and Rambo's mother and says she wants everyone's betterment. Pallavi says I hate you a lot, but now I don't hate you because you are pregnant. Pallavi says to Prachi that I am still upset with you. You did not fulfill any responsibilities. You have responsibility of taking the family legacy forward. She says your mother is not here and says I want this child to get both parents' love and says I hope you understand what I want to say. Prachi nods her head and Pallavi leaves. Pallavi comes back to Prachi and asks her not to create any drama until the engagement and says if you do also, then also I will do what is good for the family. Pallavi asks Prachi to promise her that she will not do anything. Prachi says I promise. Pallavi goes. Prachi sits in her room shattered and she cries. Rambo comes there and makes Prachi get up. Rambo asks why are you crying? And he asks if she is crying because of what he said. Rambo says I asked you to marry Siddharth and says I don't want you to marry him or anybody else again. Rambo says to Prachi that forget whatever I told you. He asks her to pack her bags and says he will leave from here. Just then, someone throws kerosene on Rambo. Prachi asks Rambo to remove his t-shirt fast. Rambo is about to take off the t-shirt when someone throws matchstick on him. It turns out to be Prachi's imagination. Prachi thinks that this is a sign that if they get together, then something would happen to Rambo. Prachi thinks that she will not let anything happen to Rambo. Prachi comes to the kitchen searching for Rambo and she sees Rambo in the kitchen. Rambo asks if Prachi is searching for something. Prachi sees Rambo lighting the matchstick and she gets shocked. Rambo keeps the matchstick on the stove and the stove started burning. Prachi pushes Rambo. Rambo opens the door and asks Prachi to move back. They try to set off the fire. They ask each other if they are fine. Rambo says I am fine. He asks how do you come to know about this? Prachi says she saw the dream. Someone wants to do bad with them and she saw Rambo burning in the dream. Prachi hugs Rambo and cries. Rambo breaks the hug and says sometimes even the bad dreams get fulfilled. Rambo goes to his room and he cries. A sad song plays in the background. Rambo thinks that why couldn't I do anything? Why is there nothing in my control? My hands are full. but still they are empty. Rambo says to himself that when I know that Prachi will not marry Siddharth if I tell her not to, then why don't I stop her? Rambo recalls the promise given to Prachi. He thinks that whatever he did is for the unborn child. Aliyah comes to Pallavi's room and she started praising Pallavi, saying that Pallavi is great. Pallavi says, I know why you have come here, to talk about Siddharth. Siddharth looks at Meika's picture. Pallavi says, I know what you want to say about Siddharth and Prachi, and says, I have accepted Prachi, but to tell you the truth, when I came to know that Prachi is pregnant with Rambo's baby, I was over the moon and I was very happy. Pallavi says to Aliyah that I started accepting Prachi as my daughter-in-law after I got to know about her pregnancy, and I did not tell you because I did not want Ria to react. Pallavi says she doesn't know why she is happy, and when she came to know that Prachi is pregnant with Rambo's child, I thought Rambo had his perfect family. Pallavi says that hearing the news about Prachi's baby makes me happy, and then I accepted Prachi. Siddharth hears their conversation. Pallavi says to Aliyah that then, I came to know that Prachi is pregnant with Siddharth's baby, and then I started hating Prachi again, more than ever before. Aliyah says to Pallavi that she felt pity for Prachi because she is a good mother. Pallavi asks Aliyah not to tell Ria. Aliyah says okay. Pallavi says now the marriage would happen at the earliest so that Prachi goes away from Rambo's life forever. Siddharth gets sad and emotional. Prachi recalls Rambo getting her a sari and a flashback is shown. Rambo asks Prachi to wear the sari. Prachi says, I wear simple clothes. Rambo says, I totally agree that simplicity suits you. He asks her to see that the sari will look good on her and says, let me be on you. Rambo says to Prachi that it seems like Devi came in front of me. Prachi says, give me a treasure so that this Devi can kill the devil. The flashback ends. Rambo comes to Prachi and makes her sit. Rambo makes Prachi wear the earrings and he begins to get Prachi ready for the marriage. Prachi has teary eyes and she looks at Rambo. Rambo helps Prachi wear the jewelry and apply bindi to her forehead. Prachi gets teary eyes. Rambo wipes Prachi's tears. Prachi looks at Rambo and says, don't be late, and says, please. Rambo says, you got late, you should marry, and he goes. Prachi turns and thinks that Rambo has returned. She says, you have come back. She sees Siddharth standing there. Siddharth says, Prachi. Prachi says, don't take my name with your dirty tongue, and says, Rambo is asking me to leave from his life due to you and your lies. Prachi asks Siddharth that why did you do this? Siddharth sits down and apologizes to Prachi. Prachi says, you have done conspiracy. It was a planned conspiracy. And she asks, why was Siddharth taking revenge and for what? She says, you have snatched my everything, and says you were a wolf in disguise of a friend. Prachi says to Siddharth that I used to think that my sister Ria is a bad person, but you are more worse than Ria. You want to break my marriage, and you want to marry me? Prachi says you are a crocodile who wants to swallow all the family in one go. Siddharth asks Prachi to listen to him. Prachi asks Siddharth if he wants to say more lies. You lied when I gave you the chance to talk. She says, when Ria told me that Rambo is not the father of my child, I was angry, but my anger lowers as Rambo was with me, and I was at peace that you will say the truth, but you have ruined many lives. Prachi asks Siddharth to tell her the truth and says, I deserve to know the truth. Siddharth says, I don't have a family. Prachi says, lie. Rambo and I were your family always. Siddharth says, don't you feel strange that I am calling your baby as mine? Prachi asks, why did you do it? Siddharth says, Meika's life is in danger. Prachi asks Meika. Shahana hears their conversation. Wendy tells Grandma that she is thinking of what to do so that Ria can leave Rambo. Grandma says, what is the difference between your thought and my thought? Wendy says she knows how to tackle Ria like girls and she will use her experience. Grandma asks Wendy if she doesn't have experience and says she did not gray her hair in the sunlight. Wendy says, when you were graying your hair, I used to dye my hair. Grandma says, even I have dyed my hair. Wendy says, you are also in my team. We will get rid of Ria together. Ria comes there and asks Wendy that whom do you want to get rid of? Wendy asks Ria not to say anything and says, you are looking beautiful, and says she wants to take off bad side from her. She praises Ria. Ria gets flattered hearing Wendy and she calls her as Wendy Grandma. Wendy praises Ria more and asks her to go and show her beauty outside. Ria hugs her and goes. Grandma asks Wendy why she was so sweet with Rhea. Wendy says they should keep the enemy close. Siddharth tells Prachi and Shahana that Meika had come here not for the Guna Party festival, but to save her life from Aliyah and Rhea's clutches. Siddharth tells Prachi and Shahana that when Vikram called him, he was coming here to say the truth, but Aliyah and Rhea got Meika kidnapped, and then they tried to kill me as well. He says, when I have come here, I came to know about their plan. It is their plan. Shahana says to Siddharth that 1 minute and says it is very shocking. She asks, why didn't you try to tell this to Rambro and Prachi before? Siddharth says, I tried, but nobody tried to listen to me. Shahana doesn't believe Siddharth. Prachi says Siddharth is saying the truth and says she knows Siddharth and she knows when he can lie. Siddharth thanks Prachi for trusting him. Prachi says, I trusted you always and I saw you as a brother. She says you have increased my dilemma and says that she wanted to tie Rakhi to her hand, but for now, she has to get engaged to him. Prachi tells Siddharth and Shahana that they have to save Meika because she has heard illegitimate word all her life. Siddharth apologized to Prachi for thinking about Meika. Prachi says get ready to fight back and says we would have to save Meika. Shahana says we will save Meika. Siddharth thanks them. Prachi says to Siddharth that I should thank you for telling me this truth. She says engagement or marriage will be fake now. Shahana says to Siddharth that why are you telling us the truth now, as Meika is still in danger. Siddharth says I know, but if I did not tell Prachi the truth, then I would have died. Siddharth says I heard Pallavi saying that she has accepted Prachi, but she was shattered with this truth that Prachi's baby is not for Rambro. Prachi says it is good that you told me. She says a big question is in front of me and says with this fake engagement, then I want to find out about Rambro's feelings. Prachi tells Siddharth and Shahana that she wants to find out if Rambro will fight back or stay idle, saying that his love is becoming someone else's love. Prachi says I will see if Rambro will fulfill his words or let the words stay as words. Rambro tells Aryan that he thinks that Siddharth can be a good father than him. Aryan asks Rambro not to talk like oldies. Rambro says I cannot think that Prachi would hold someone else's hand. Aryan says we will tell Prachi clearly that she should not hold Siddharth's hand. Rambro says to Aryan that you don't understand. Aryan says we will put the clause for the marriage. Rambro says I love Prachi. I might refuse in front of others, but it is the truth. Rambro asks that how will he live without Prachi, and now Prachi is getting married to someone else. Rhea comes there and says to Rambro that once Prachi and Siddharth get married, then we will start our marital life. We will stay together. Rambro asks if Rhea doesn't know what is happening here. Rhea says, I heard that you want to get Prachi's marriage done fast and you don't want it to happen as well. Rambro takes Rhea to a side and asks what was she saying there. Rambro says, I told you clearly that I love Prachi. Rambro says everyone knows in this world that he loves Prachi. Rhea says then if you love Prachi, why did you ask her to marry Siddharth? Rambro says I will stay away from Prachi, but I will love her always. Rhea asks Rambro to make her understand. Rambro says his heart beats for his love and his love will be for Prachi always, even if Prachi goes away from him. Rambro says he is not a stuff which someone else would use. He sees Prachi coming with Shahana going from there. Rambro feels Prachi as Prachi's hair touches his face as Prachi goes by. Rambro says, did Prachi not see me? Rhea says exactly. She did not see you and you are calling her as your love. Rambro says I have to tell Prachi something and he goes. Rhea thinks that what is in Rambro's mind and she will find out at all cost. Okay guys, so some people are getting confused and asking me if it is Rambo or Rambo or Rambo. I don't know. If you see Rambo or anything other than Rambro, just know it is typo error. Maybe when I'm editing, I'm in a hurry or something. And if I pronounce it as Rambo, just know that I made a mistake. You see, these Indian people, their names is not easy to pronounce. So maybe I made a mistake while pronouncing it as Rambo. But the real pronunciation is Rambro. R-A-N-B-I-R. Rambro. Thank you.